The list for next season's grid of ELMS is here, and it's time to find out which cars, teams, drivers, and manufacturers will be on the grid for the upcoming year of racing. So in this video, I'll break down every single entry that is confirmed to race in the European Le Mans Series in 2025. The entry list was officially announced on Tuesday, December 3rd, and ELMS confirmed a record-breaking 44 cars for next year, which included some iconic car companies and some brand new cars as well. A few months before, the European-based series confirmed their calendar for 2025, which included a 6-round championship, starting off with an event at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalonia in early April. After the event in Spain, there will be races in La Casale, France, Imola, Italy, Spa, Belgium, the highly anticipated return of the Silverstone circuit in Britain, and the season will conclude with a 4-hour endurance race in Portimao, Portugal. The European Le Mans Series has confirmed the entries for all 4 of their classes, which includes LMP2, LMP2 Pro-Am, LMP3, and finally LMGT3. For the main prototype class of LMP2, 14 cars are confirmed to race and compete for overall victory, and all of the teams entered are using the Oreca 07 cars. The LMP2 list includes the number 3 DKR Engineering entry, the number 9 Iron Lynx and Proton competition car, and the return of Vector Sport with their number 10 Oreca. Meanwhile, IDEX Sport will field 2 cars badged as the number 18 and number 28, with Williams F1 development driver Jamie Chadwick confirmed to pilot one of the cars. ELMS champions United Autosports will be back with their number 22 car, and so will the number 24 Nielsen Racing and the number 25 Algarve Pro Racing cars, which will return with both teams entering one of their cars into the main LMP2 class, while French team Duquesne will also return with their number 30 Oreca 07 entry. Returning to the championship this year will be the Polish squad Inter-Europol competition, as 2 green and yellow LMP2s will stand out on track in 2025, using the numbers 34 and 43 once again. The 2025 season sees 2 entries from CLX Motorsports, and no, that is not a new team to ELMS, because that team is actually Cool Racing, who won the season opener in LMP2 last year, and the Swiss brand have recently rebranded as CLX Motorsports. One of their cars will also be in conjunction with Pure Racing, who have expanded into the P2 category. Finally, the 14th and final entry for the main LMP2 class will be the number 48 Oreca from Panis Racing. Moving on to the LMP2 Pro-Am field, and 7 cars have been entered into this class, and all of them are Oreca 07s. The Pro-Am class differentiates from the main LMP2 category by entries having at least 1 bronze-rated driver, which will be seen by the LMP2 car's turquoise number panels. The class includes additional Oreca 07 cars from the teams of Algarve Pro Racing, United Autosports, and Nielsen Racing. The APR team will field the number 20 car, United's entry is using the number 21, and Nielsen Racing will run the number 27 car. Also on the entry list is the number 29 TDS Racing car, and this is the same team which won the last 2 IMSA rounds for LMP2, which included the class win of Motul Petit Le Mans in 2024. Meanwhile, Proton Competition will bring an LMP2 car, badged as the number 77, which is a classic number for the German team, while AF Corsa will return to the European Le Mans Series with the number 83 car, which already has a driver lineup that includes former Alpine hypercar racer Mathieu Vaxivière. Finally, for LMP2 Pro-Am will be the champions from last season, AO Racing by TF Sport, who will switch to the Pro-Am class using the number 99 because they are bringing in team founder and IMSA racer PJ Hyatt. Moving on to LMP3, and for this upcoming year of racing, this will mark a new chapter for the P3 class, with all the cars entered switching from Nissan engines to Toyota engines, with 3 kinds of LMP3 cars on the grid, from the brands of Ligier, Duqueine, and Ginetta. The LMP3 grid will see 10 cars racing in 2025, which includes DK Engineering's number 4 car, meaning the team will enter both LMP2 and LMP3 this coming year. And this will be the only Ginetta on the grid. Then there's the first of the Ligiers, which is the number 8 Team Virage car. Then the number 11 Euro International P3 entry. Meanwhile, the only Duqueine D09 will be from the team of WTM by Rinaldi Racing, meaning all the other entries on the grids from teams will be Ligier cars. Other entries on this list include the number 15 RLR LMP3, the return of the formerly known Cool Racing Squad, now of course known as CLX Motorsports, and then there's the number 31 Racing Spirit of Le Mans Ligier. Ultimate's number 35 car will also be on the grid, as well as the number 68 entry from M Racing. And finally, Inter Europol's LMP3 will make its return to the grid this season, badged as the number 88. Finally, the entry list is concluded by the LMGT3 class, which, like the WEC's GT category, will switch to green number panels for 2025. The entry list for this class will feature 13 cars on the grid for all 6 rounds, which includes the return of McLaren to the European Le Mans Series, as United Autosports will enter a single 720S GT3 Evo, running with the number 23, with Pfaff Motorsports IMSA racer Marvin Kirchhofer confirmed as one of the drivers to pilot the McLaren. Meanwhile, the manufacturer with the most cars on the grid will be Ferrari, as a total of 7 GT3 cars from the Italian brand will race, which will include 2 entries from AF Corsa, which will be the number 50 and number 51 Ferraris. Then there's the number 55 Spirit of Race 296. One of the really nice changes for 2025 is that Kessel Racing will expand to run 2 Ferraris in LMGT3, and the cars will use the numbers 57 and 74. Moving on, and alongside their new adventure in the World Endurance Championship, Racing Spirit of Le Mans will return to ELMS for this season, as they represent Aston Martin with only 1 Vantage GT3 on the grid. When it comes to German manufacturers, one of 2 Porsches appearing in 2025 will be from Proton Competition, who will field the number 60 car. And then there's a really exciting new entry on the grid from last year's LMGT3 champions Iron Lynx, as following their new partnership in the WEC, they have announced that they will also bring the German constructor Mercedes into the ELMS championship, with 1 AMG GT3 confirmed to compete from the Italian team. It's also been confirmed that one of the drivers for the Iron Lynx Mercedes will be former Peugeot hypercar driver Gustavo Menezes. Unfortunately though, there is a downside to Mercedes entering ELMS, and that is that Lamborghini won't return in 2025, as the Huracan GT3 from the Iron Lynx, which won last year's championship, will sit out next season. However, one entry that is returning in 2025 is the JMW Motorsport Ferrari, and this is the same team which raced at Le Mans last year and qualified 3rd in Hyperpole. Another new manufacturer on the grid in ELMS is Chevrolet, as TF Sport bring the number 82 Corvette onto the grid, marking the first American car to race in this new decade of the European Le Mans Series. Finally, the last 2 entries on this list will be from Porsche and Ferrari. The winners of the 4 Hours of Imola in 2024, the Iron Dames, will be back in ELMS with their number 85 Porsche, and the 7th and final Ferrari 296 on the grid will be the number 86 Ferrari from GR Racing. So that's my breakdown of all the entries that are set to compete during the 2025 season of the European Le Mans Series. Are you excited to see these cars race in these European events next season? Well, feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like sports car endurance racing, this might be the channel for you. I'm making content on the WEC, IMSA, and so on every single week. In fact, there are some videos out on your screen all about these topics. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.